Okay guys, now we are going to see how to solve matching type of questions. Okay, you might have played this matching game in the past when you were small, that this baji will go with that bhaijan, this cousin will go with that cousin, right? You know, when children are small, they look around and say इसकी उसके साथ शादी होगी, वो इसको देखता है उसकी इधर होगी, and all that. I made many guesses in my life and those people are very happy now. They have their kids and all that. मुझे बचपन में पता चल जाता था, मैं बड़ा तेज बच्चा था कि किसका कहाँ पे होगा, कैसे होगा, and all that. Okay, now we've got matching and you have to match opinions with modules. They have given some modules, they have given opinion and you got to match it. First we read the question together. What opinion do students give about each of following modules on their veterinary science course? Opinion about module on veterinary science course. By the way, the speakers will be same. In part 1, same 2 speakers. In part 2, same speakers. In part 3, now part 1 is different from part 2. So part 1 speakers will continue from 1 to 10. Part 2 speakers will continue from 11 to 20. Part 3 speakers will continue from 21 to 30. And part 4 there will be a different speaker. Okay. So now we've got opinions and we've got modules. Tell me, if I give you half minute to read the questions, would you like to read modules or opinions? Opinions, because modules do not contain any information. And by the way, as the audio and questions, they are in order. So modules will come exactly the same. 27, medical terminology. 28, diet and nutrition. They will not change anything. But about opinion, they will paraphrase opinions. They may reword opinions and all that. Now, option A, Tim found this easier than expected. Underline Tim and underline easier than expected. Now, what is easier than expected? I thought IELTS would be difficult, but it's quite easy. What is it? Easier than expected. Okay. Now, let's go on. Option B. Tim thought this was not very clearly organized. Underline Tim and underline not very clearly organized. You will focus the organization of the course. It was not organized properly and all that. Option C. Diana may do some further study on this. Now underline Diana and underline further study. Now we will listen to Diana carefully and we will just focus this further study. Option D for doctor. They both found. Now underline they both. Found the reading required for this was difficult. Reading was difficult. Okay, reading was difficult and they both found. And Tim was shocked. Shocked, you know, oh, hi, something like that. Tim was shocked. Wherever he says, I was not expecting that. I was astonished to see that. Something like this. Tim was shocked and something he learned on this module. And they both were surprised. Now both were surprised about what? Just focus, they were surprised. So what you have to do in option A, Tim found this easier than expected. It's Tim. Option B again Tim and not clearly organized. Option C Diana, further study. Now what is further study? I will do a module on it next year. Or in the next semester I will do further research on that. Or I will select it for my dissertation. That is further study. Next option D, both found reading required was difficult. Reading required was difficult means books were difficult or the study material which they had to read, it was confusing. And Tim was shocked and they both were surprised. Now question number 27, medical terminology. Let's see, answer is going to be A, B, C, D, E, F. Let's start.
Now we've got to give a bit of feedback about last term's modules. Just short comments apparently. Shall we do that now?
Okay, so medical terminology.
Well, my heart sank when I saw that, especially right at the beginning of the course, and I did struggle with it.
I thought it'd be hard, but actually I found it all quite straightforward.
I thought it would be hard, but I found it quite straightforward. Option A. I thought it would be hard, but I found it quite straightforward means easier than expected. Expected, I thought it would be hard. And easier, it was quite straightforward. So for question number 27, correct answer is A. Now, question number 28, diet and nutrition.
What did you think about diet and nutrition?
Okay, I suppose.
Do you remember what they told us about pet food? And the fact that there's such limited checking into whether or not it's contaminated? I mean, in comparison with the checks on food for humans, I thought that was terrible.
I thought that was terrible. Tim was shocked. When you are shocked, you say, I thought that was terrible, horrible, awful, like that. So option E for elephant will be the right answer here. Question number 29. Animal disease. Let's see what do they say about animal disease.
I think the module that really impressed me was the animal disease one, when we looked at domesticated animals in different parts of the world, like camels and water buffalo and alpaca. The economies of so many countries depend on these, but scientists don't know much about the diseases that affect them.
Yes. I thought they'd know a lot about ways of controlling and eradicating those diseases, but that's not the case at all.
That's not the case at all. And they both were surprised. How little is known about some aspects of this? Answer is F. Please listen to it again. Question number 29.
I think the module that really impressed me was the animal disease one, when we looked at domesticated animals in different parts of the world, like camels and water buffalo and alpaca. The economies of so many countries depend on these, but scientists don't know much about the diseases that affect
Okay, scientists don't know much about the diseases that affect them.
them.
Yes. I thought they'd know a lot about ways of controlling and eradicating those diseases, but that's not the case at all.
That's not the case at all. Means they were both surprised how little is known. Means they don't know about it. Question number 30. Wildlife medication.
I loved the wildlife medication unit. Things like helping birds that have been caught in oil spills. That's something I hadn't thought about before.
Yeah, I thought I might write my dissertation on something connected with that.
Right.
I
So,
thought-
actually, I was thinking something along the same lines.
I thought I might write my dissertation on something connected with that. Option C, further study. Further study means I thought I might write my dissertation on something connected with that. C will be the right answer. Now on your answer sheet, you will write answers exactly the same. You cannot make them before or after, like 27A, 28E, 29F and 30C.